Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, as it should, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. We got some things we've got to be talking about. We got some things going off this in just a short while, a little bit over 23 some odd minutes from now. Allegedly, there will be a press conference that I think we all are very interested in watching and seeing what transpires. Okay, so do me a favor before we get into everything. Do me a solid. All right. Do me this solid. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button. If you're watching on other platforms, if you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, make sure you hit that follow button. Follow. I'm on all those platforms, okay? Make sure you hit that subscribe button here on my main channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. We got some videos coming out a little bit later on today, so make sure you go and check out those videos. Hit that subscribe button over there. Hit the notification bell on both platforms because a lot of times it's breaking news or random, so make sure you're subscribed and that notification bell is set to all on both channels. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. We got some really great family members, and I appreciate all y'all who have been supporting via the membership. But if you want to join and be a part of the membership, the family membership, please hit that join button down below. Okay? Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And of course, do not forget to check out pascalmerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. pascalmerch.com. Go check it out. Okay? Trust me, I'm sure there's going to be something over there you're going to love. Anyway, we got to get into this conversation. There's a lot that's going on. There's a lot that has been going on. Let's just say that. There's a lot that has been going on revolving around Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony. Now, of course, there have been a lot of people feeling some type of way about all this. This has absolutely torn the world apart. Let's just say that, okay? It has been absolutely crazy, all right? Now, if you guys are a little bit late to the party, the situation with this, two 17-year-old boys got into an altercation at a track meet. They were both competing for their respective high schools. Karmelo Anthony, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, goes into under the tent of one of his competitor schools that actually is the school that Austin Metcalf went to. Austin Metcalf apparently walked over to him, told him, hey, you shouldn't be sitting underneath this tent. Hell broke loose. And now Austin Metcalf lost his life. I know I skipped a couple key points here. All right. There was allegedly a fiery conversation. Okay. Words were spat back and forth between Karmelo and Austin. Apparently, Austin said, touch me. If you touch me, you're going to find out, right? Touch me, you're going to see. Austin took it for himself to put his hands, allegedly, on Karmelo. Karmelo put a knife into his chest once and ran off. Threw the weapon off to the side and ran. He didn't get very far. He was quickly detained, but still, Austin Metcalf lost his life right there at that track meet in the arms of his twin brother, Hunter Metcalf. Obviously, this is a very sad and very shocking turn of events. This is a shocking case, and this has absolutely rocked the world. Okay. And I say the world because this has turned into an international case. Everybody and their mama is talking about this. I know people that are watching this that are watching from all over the world revolving around this case. People are very curious as to what happened here and why it went down. Now, the question is, because before I say that, when Karmelo was arrested, he claimed that this was self-defense. That is the main question I think a lot of people are wondering. Is this self-defense or not? Well, let me say this. Some people want to know, and some people are just saying they're just siding with whatever their gut reaction is. They're saying, because obviously everyone has their personal internal bias. Instantly, people will side with Karmelo or they will side with Austin with this whole situation for sure. And of course, it's going to be an ongoing question. Is this self-defense or not? Because this is what is being claimed by Karmelo Anthony. Now, I highly recommend you guys after this video or after this live, I highly recommend you guys going over to the video I just posted. I just posted a video about 40 minutes ago before this live, talking about whether or not this is self-defense or not. Chris Cuomo from News Nation, CNN's Chris Cuomo, now he's on News Nation. But anyway, he had a very interesting conversation with a couple lawyers talking about this particular case, the Karmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf case. They talked about racial bias. They talked about whether or not this is self-defense or not. What they had to say was very interesting. Now, they didn't really answer the question, but they did answer a few other things that people are very upset about in these internet streets, okay, in the chats. One thing is for sure, and they say this in the interview, which I agree with, that it's not a question on if, okay, it's not a question for us, which is people will sit there and instantly say, oh, this wasn't self-defense. Well, in a court of law, technically it is. As soon as Karmelo utters out of his mouth that this was self-defense, well, literally, it becomes a self-defense case. Now, I know for some people, that's going to make some people very upset. All right. And I get that. Trust me, I get that. But what I'm trying to say is, as soon as he says that, the court and his team has to consider what he is saying to be a possibility. And then it is up to his team to fight and show that narrative and show that argument and show proof positive that it is self-defense. If not, he's screwed. It's first degree M, and it's a wrap for him. It's over, y'all. It's a wrap for him. Okay? So, when people get upset and go, this ain't a self-defense, well, technically, in court, it is now. As soon as he says that, as soon as anybody says something like that, it is instantly put into the roster during that trial. But again, it's up to his team to show without a shadow of a doubt it is self-defense. First degree M is still on the table, y'all. That still doesn't change anything. I just want you guys to know that. It doesn't change what the possible outcome for him will be. It's just an argument that they have to present, and they have to present it perfectly, guys. It has to be pristine. His team has a very, very steep hill to climb. And the only reason why I say that is that if there isn't any footage that shows proof positive of an actual self-defense argument, then he's screwed. If he attacked in the video, if he attacks Austin first, it's a wrap. Here's the other question that you have to put out here too. And like I said, I highly recommend you guys go check out the video I just posted. Please, after this video, I'll make sure I put the link in here while we're talking. I'll post it at the top of the chat here in a second. But here's the other thing you have to put in consideration. What is considered deadly force? You got to remember, self-defense is happening solely if your life is being threatened. If deadly force is put upon thee. Yes, I went Shakespearean there. But that is something that you have to put in consideration here. What is considered deadly force? Is it a racial slur? Not saying that Austin Metcalf said anything racial, but we have to throw that on the table. It's a possibility. At least this is what people are saying in these internet streets. Is saying a word, using words, is that deadly force? Touching somebody, is that deadly force? Shoving somebody, is that deadly force? Those are all questions that need to be asked in this trial. Remember, we have yet to see the video or any footage showing this altercation or this interaction between these two men, these two young men. Let's not forget that. All right. Once we see those things, I'm sure it'll paint a pretty good picture on whether or not this is self-defense or not. But you know for a fact, one of the main questions that is going to be out here is it self-defense? And if it is, or if they're using that as the argument, what is considered deadly force when you have allegedly one kid, Austin Metcalf, approaching another kid, Karmelo Anthony? Let's not forget that. What is considered deadly force? Those are things that need to be asked. And yeah, I know some people are going to be mad. Oh, blah, mad about this whole thing. I'm just bringing up questions that I'm sure that are going to be presented in court. That is it. Not taking any sides in this situation right now. All I'm saying is what is going to possibly be argued and presented in court. Is this deadly force? Is this not deadly force? Is this considered 110% self-defense? And here's the thing. Karmelo Anthony, just like any other person that would be up on this type of trial, whether he is white or black, has that same right as every other American citizen to prove his innocence or prove that this is self-defense. That is his legal right as an American citizen. That is. And we all have to sit quietly and let the courts do what they do, right? That's just what we got to do. That's how the cookie crumbles in this world. Okay. Now, there's been a lot that's been going on. All right. We've talked about a bunch of different things. All right. Now, one thing is for sure. First and foremost, allegedly in about 12 minutes or so, there is going to be a press conference done by Karmelo Anthony's family. Yes. Karmelo Anthony's family is going to be speaking out to the press for the first time ever in regards to everything that's going on with this tragedy. Again, this is an absolute tragedy. Austin Metcalf should still be alive. That's what I truly believe. And I will say this, doesn't matter if he said a racial slur. That does not garner somebody getting poked or, getting a knife plunged into their chest. But at the same time, we don't know the full scope of everything. We have not seen the evidence, etc. Now, one thing is for sure, though, I want to point this out. Before we go into this conversation in this article here, I want to point something out really, really quick. Okay, first off, one thing that I think is weird, and it could be nothing, okay? Could be nothing, but I'm going to point it out, though. There has been an interview that we watched. Maybe I could pull it up. Maybe I'll be able to find it and pull it up here for our conversation before we see this press conference, because we got a little bit of time. But one thing is for sure, the father of Austin Metcalf, and I can, in my thoughts and prayers go out to the families, both of them, seriously, because this is still tragedy on both sides of the situation. It is absolutely terrible. But here's the thing. The father of Austin Metcalf went on an interview, and he said this a couple times in different interviews where they talked about what he heard about the altercation leading to the demise of his son. And he said, Austin, my son, Austin, walked up to Karmelo and he said, well, and this is the part that I think that a lot of people are wondering what the heck happened here. He says, oh, I'm not going to tell you what he said, but there are words that were said. And then there was an altercation and now he's gone. Now, I'm sorry, with all due respect, just saying in general, when you say, oh, well, there were words exchanged, I'm not going to go into detail on what was said. Instantly, people who are very invested, emotionally, intellectually invested into this case are instantly going to go, wait a second, what was said? And people are drawing it up or dressing up the exchange however their bias sees fit. people automatically are saying, oh, racial slurs were thrown. He said such and such, blah, 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 right? All kinds of stuff was being said, but we don't know what was being said. And that information is being withheld by the family. Now, here's the thing. There's two different things. One, if Austin didn't say anything too bad and all he said is get the F up. Let's just say he said, get the F up, man. You're not supposed to be here. Go back to your team. You're under the wrong tent. Let's just say that he said that. That still doesn't, no matter what he says, doesn't mean that he deserves knife in chest. All right. But why withhold that information? Why not just say what was being said? If it was innocent, if all he said is, hey, man, you're sitting under the wrong tent, bro. You need to go over there, bro. If he just said that, then that's all good. But why wasn't there anything? Why haven't they disclosed what was said? Because I think that if things were explained, I think that if those pieces were said, those holes will be filled and those gaps will not be filled with speculation and rumors. Remember, I mean, I'll see if I can find it. But he did say, and maybe I'll play it after the press conference. Hopefully they're on time. But he did say, yeah, Austin walked up and, well, words were said, but I'm not going to say what it was said. That seems weird. Hold on. Before I know there's a lot of pro, Team Austin, which I understand. This is not a throw or a dig, just asking the questions. Is it the father just trying to keep his son under a good light by not disclosing what was being said? Or is it too heartbreaking? Because again, if it was just innocent, where he just said, hey, man, get up, move, and that's it, still keeps his son under a decent light, a good light. So again, that's a question I think that still needs to be answered because it's still having a lot of people asking and speculating and throwing out rumors. And it's been very, very nasty out here, guys. These waters have gotten very, very choppy, okay? And has been absolutely insane. So much that now you have the Karmelo Anthony family coming out and speaking out about what's going on. They're allegedly here to dispel all the misinformation, all the rumors, all the BS. So hopefully in 6 minutes' time, we're going to hear the truth, or at least Karmelo Anthony's side of the story coming from the family. Let's take a look at this, okay? I got a little clip I'm going to play for y'all as well. But this is interesting, all right? So for the first time since their son's arrest, the family of the 17-year-old accused in the taking of the life of Austin Metcalf, okay, will speak to the public. Karmelo Anthony, we already know what he's being charged with and what he's looking at. And of course, we already know he's claiming self-defense. Karmelo Anthony's parents to speak, the organizers of the news conference, Next Generation Action Network. We've been seeing a lot of their faces quite a bit, okay, especially the main guy spearheading everything on behalf of the Anthony's family, all right? They say the family of Karmelo Anthony have, quote unquote, endured a wave of falsehoods, misinformation, and hateful attacks, some of which have been blatant, intentional misrepresentations of both the family and the ongoing legal case since his arrest. Yep. Like I said, there's been a lot of BS floating and flying out here, basically saying that the family's bought new cars and have bought houses and stuff. And I'm telling you right now, and of course they're saying they bought all those new things with the crowdfunded money that was raised specifically for Karmelo Anthony's legal representation. And even the people, the heads of the actual crowdfunding account, okay, the platform, Give, Send, Go, those co-founders are now speaking out and saying, no, they haven't even touched one red penny because they can't get it. They haven't spent not one red penny from that account. But people are trying to take this narrative and run wild with it, y'all, okay? The point of gathering on today, all right, is to give the family a chance to speak for themselves about the case against their son. So this case has drawn national attention, resulting in threats and increased security at the Collin County Courthouse. Yeah, even the judge had to go radio silent on social media because she was getting doxxed, she was getting threatened, etc., because of her making a decision to drop his bail from $1 million to $250,000 as well. Okay, so the NGAN spokesperson says the family plans to address the impact the killing and the aftermath has had on their lives. And remember, they are not the ones at trial, y'all. They are not. They're not the ones who grabbed the knife and plunged the knife into this young boy's chest. It is their son who did that. It is their son. So why are people going after this, right? So that's what's so crazy, okay? So again, very interesting. So according to the statement, family will be making a statement and will answer select questions afterwards, which of course, I think a lot of us are really, really interested in seeing that as well. Let's take a look at this video real quick.
You're charged with stabbing and killing another teen are set to speak about his case in public for the first time.
Yeah, overnight we learned they will hold a news conference today. Janelle Forth live. And Janelle, this comes 3 days after Karmelo Anthony was released from jail.
Yeah, he's been at home since Monday. And again, in just a little less than 5 hours, his family is expected to make their first public statements about this case. That press conference, it starts here at 11 o'clock this morning, and it's been more than 2 weeks since that deadly stabbing at that Frisco High School, that Frisco ISD track meet. The family says that the reason they're speaking out now is to address what they call a wave of misinformation, hateful attacks, and intentional misrepresentations that have surfaced online since the April 2nd incident. Police say the confrontation happened in the bleachers during a track meet involving multiple Frisco ISD schools. According to court records, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf told Karmelo Anthony to move from under the Memorial High School tent. That's when witnesses say things escalated and Anthony allegedly pulled out a knife and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest, killing him.
Now, again, we already know about all this, right? But one thing is for sure. This is a very, very sad turn of events. It doesn't matter. The other thing, too, is the stuff that's being out here, people are using the AI, okay, and creating some really terrible images of Austin Metcalf as well, okay? And, we got to speak on that side, too, all right? Because I know y'all are like, whoa, you talking about Karmelo sounds like you got a bias. No, I don't. I really don't. All I know is that these two kids don't deserve these two kids and the two families, let's just say, don't deserve the vitriol and the threats and all that are going on with both sides of the family. One thing is for sure, there are photos that are being put out there of Austin Metcalf in a casket, and they're saying it's bad, okay, with as far as Austin Metcalf stuff. It is disgusting out here. The fact that it's become like this is absolutely ridiculous. And we need to be better as people, okay? We got to be better as a people. But also at the same time, the fact that there's all these rumors basically saying, oh, yeah, they taking that money, they scamming. Some people are like, oh, another BLM scam. Yeah, that's really happening right now. This is what's so sad about it. We should be better as a people. I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it real. We need to be better as a people. All right. We're looking at this situation. This is right or wrong. This should not be a black or white or blue or red or Republican or Democrat, liberal, conservative type of thing. This is a situation that happened between two boys, allegedly just two boys. And this is very sad. This is a life or death situation. And now you got a kid who either could be lying or could be telling the truth about it being self-defense or no. That's it, y'all. That is it. Okay. Period, point blank. So it's very sad. Period. Let me let this finish. Let's see.
Anthony later told officers he was defending himself. He was initially held on a $1 million bond, but earlier this week, a judge reduced that to $250,000, citing his age, no prior record, and ties to the community. Anthony was released from jail Monday and is now under house arrest. This case has drawn a lot of attention. And again, today's press conference is being organized by the Dallas-based civil rights group Next Generation Action Network. And we'll keep you updated on what happens here later on this morning.
Yep. And again, the press conference is going to be happening very shortly. Let me pull that up so you guys can see that as well. Because we got it here. It has not started yet. But you got reporters, etc., sitting, waiting for all of this to go down. Now, one thing I want to point out, somebody just said this in here. Okay. Dixie. Okay. First off. Okay. If you said, sorry, but the spokesperson is connected to BLM. So that's true. Let me just say this. Whether or not he is connected to BLM doesn't even matter. You want to know why it doesn't matter? Because as far as the money that they're raising on that Give, Send, Go, he's not getting any red penny of that. At least I hope he doesn't. Okay. This money is raised specifically for Karmelo. And that's it. Same thing with the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. Wasn't there the Proud Boys and all that stuff? Wasn't he throwing up the OK sign and all that stuff? And yeah, there was a lot of people speculating that he was giving money to those groups as well. He didn't. He used all that money for his legal defense. So I feel like we need to be fair and we need to be patient. And we need to see what they're actually going to do with that money. I truly believe that they're going to be using that money for his legal representation. And just because he's black does not mean that we automatically go straight for the typical things. Oh, it's BLM. Oh, BLM at it again, scamming people and everything. That's unfair, guys. That's unfair. You got a 17-year-old kid who did a very, very bad thing. Now he is saying that it's self-defense. He is going to get legal representation. He's going to try to get the best that money can buy. And that is his American right. Love it or hate it, that is his American right. And if it was your kid or anybody else's kid, somebody you were close to and all that stuff, I would expect you to think and believe and hope for the same thing. Getting the best representation, getting the best legal help so that if he is really telling the truth, and I'm going to say this again, if he is telling the truth about self-defense, then he's able to present this in court with an unbiased judge and an unbiased jury. That is his legal right as an American citizen. Same thing we would say about Kyle Rittenhouse, Daniel Penny, George Zimmerman, Derek Chauvin, all of them that actually, 3 of those guys use the same crowdfunding website, Give, Send, Go, to raise millions of dollars, guys. So like I said, if the shoe is fitting on one side, on one foot, should be able to fit on the other foot too. The double standard here is ridiculous, y'all. And it doesn't matter. Kyle Rittenhouse was hanging out and sitting next to Proud Boys, okay? Throwing up the OK sign and all that stuff. Like I said, time out, okay? He had the same rights as Karmelo does. Whether or not he is telling the truth, he could very well be lying, y'all. I know. He could, but we have to put that on the table. He could very well be lying. So I think it's fair for us to sit back and let us see what's really going on. Let's find out. Here's the other thing. I was going to say this too, all right, that I think is very, very important, okay? Yep, and that's also true as well, T. Thank you so much for pointing that out. He also was Kyle Rittenhouse was also being labeled. He was also instantly labeled, for sure, as a hero. Let's not forget that. Didn't he, after he won, after he was found not guilty, right? He was exonerated. Wasn't he the very next few weeks later, a few days later, posing with weapons and stuff like that and all that? I mean, this is Kyle Rittenhouse we're talking about. The same weapons that he had in this situation were the same weapons that he was posing with that got him in trouble in the first place. So again, like I said, this is crazy stuff. Let's see.
This press conference first.
Here we go.
Attending. I just wanted to briefly make an introduction in spelling so that way we can move forward with our press event. Today you'll have the pleasure of speaking with Chief Albert Martinez, Chief of Dallas ISD Police. That spelling is Albert, the traditional way, A-L-B-E-R-T, Martinez, M-A-R-T-I-N-E-Z. Again, Chief of Police for the Dallas Independent School District's Police Department. And then following that, after an update, we will provide an opportunity for questions. And we know that there are some questions that you all have. We will allot a few minutes for that. And then at the conclusion of that, we will wrap and end this particular briefing opportunity. So thank you so much. And I'll turn it over to our Chief of Police, Albert Martinez. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. I want to thank everyone for their patience and understanding as we prepare to provide information on the shooting that happened at our Wilmer Hutchins High School. As you can imagine, yesterday we were busy with trying to track down information and prepare our investigation and move forward with that, and then be able to update you all today. This is obviously not something that we want to happen, but we understand the violence that is happening in our communities, not only in Dallas, but throughout the state. First of all, I'd like to take a moment and thank the Dallas Independent School District Police, our men and women who were there and did everything they needed to do to get inside that school. The Dallas Police Department, the Texas Department of Public Safety, DART Police, Dallas County Sheriff's Office,
Whoops.
Hutchins Police Department.
Hold on. Whoops. That's the Wilmer. Sorry, wrong one. Sorry about that, guys. 1 second. Dag nabbit. Wrong one. They got a couple different press conferences happening at the same time. Hold on 1 second. I was wondering. I was like, what the heck is going on? Here we go. Sorry about that. So it hasn't happened yet. Good. Sorry about that, guys. There's so many press conferences happening, and of course, there's some bad things that are happening with that high school. The assailant was actually actually turned himself in yesterday. Okay, so I apologize about that, guys. There's been a lot of press going on as of late, but still, we got a little bit more time to discuss and conversate because it has not happened yet, as you guys can see. Okay. But real quick, let me grab this here. Maura, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the memberships, 5 memberships. Welcome to the family. Bernice, thank you so much for becoming a member. I think you're re-upping, but welcome back. Kason Allison, everybody, justice for Karmelo. I need to look that one up, Kason Allison. So I will look that up. Lady E, thank you so much for the love. And for those of y'all who just got gifted, please be sure to hit that and share some love.
And that is the reason for this delay. You know, we have actually heard.
I know her.
From Metcalf's father.
That's crazy.
And,
I know this reporter.
In between, mourning the loss of his son, he's been very vocal about, the way that this case has been talked about. So he has arrived to this press conference. We haven't heard about any conversations that have happened at this point. Not sure what the energy of his presence is there, but we do know that the reason that this press conference is starting late is because he has arrived. Again, if you are just joining us, we are preparing to hear from Karmelo Anthony's parents, who are going to address the media for the first time. And we are now hearing that both the parents of the child who passed away in this case and the child who is accused of the stabbing and killing in this case are both present at this event.
Oh, wow.
We'll update you as soon as we have any more information about when this is going to start, any information about what is going to be shared here today.
That's massive. Whoa, that is new. You know what? I mean, well, here it is. Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what she just said. And that's crazy because I know that reporter. That's crazy. She's been on the show in the past, by the way, like 5 years ago. But anyway, what's really, really interesting is that they're saying that both parents of Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony are both at this press conference at the same damn time. Whoa! Now, let me just say this. This is interesting. And one thing's for sure. For them to show up together, depending on if they're actually in the same, because you never know. The Austin Metcalf's family might be in the room, but they may not say anything, right? They might just be in the press conference, like as an audience, or they might be speaking out too. Now, if they are actually speaking out, oh my Lord, this is unprecedented, by the way. If that actually does happen, if they both come out and they speak out in unison, basically saying like, leave our families alone, stop with the BS rumors, we need to be better as a people, blah, blah, blah. This will be unprecedented. This will be something that I think that, wow, that'll be something incredible. Also, it's like, hey, let the courts do what they need to do. That could be a possible thing that they are going to say here. It's just saying, stop with the rumors, stop with the BS. Let us just, let Karmelo fight whatever he needs to fight in court. If it was self-defense, then it's self-defense. Whatever it may be. If it's not, it's not. But let it work itself out in court. Because again, the rumors have been absolutely insane. The rumors have been absolutely insane. And I think we can all agree on that. They have been out of this world. Okay? All right? So, again, pretty insane stuff. The fact that the families are together and are going to be here, and if they're here standing behind the Karmelo Anthony family, that says something interesting as well. Okay? Yeah, I've heard rumors about everything. I mean, there's been rumors about, rumors about the guy who runs NGAN, the Next Generation organization. There's been rumors about the dad and all that stuff. And for me, I'm like, well, meh. I just like, I'm not even, we need to look at what's going on here and talk about what's going on. Okay. Because the rumors have been pretty wild out here. So much that, like I said, there have been rumors about the family, Karmelo Anthony's family, dipping into the funds that they've already raised, which is over $450,000, almost a $500,000. People are saying that they're just taking that money and just buying things and going crazy, going on Amazon and buying a whole bunch of stuff on Amazon, like they mother-loving Tiffany Henyard up in this piece. And let me tell you something, that is not true. Okay?
You back into what you're looking at there on your screen. This is the Next Generation Action Network office in Dallas. This is a group that has been advocating for Karmelo Anthony and his family. For those not familiar with this case, Karmelo Anthony is a Frisco ISD student who is accused of stabbing and killing another student at a track meet earlier this month. Actually, yesterday marked 2 weeks since this happened, and he is charged with murder in this case. Today, for the first time, we are expecting to hear from Anthony's parents. The president of the Next Gen Action Network says that the parents are wanting to address what they call falsehoods in this case, as it has garnered a lot of attention on social media, a lot of conversation and speculation about what led up to this. And I want to point out, if you look there on your screen, it's kind of hard to see, but right behind the camera that you see, there's a gentleman, you can kind of see his arm in a blue shirt. We are told that is Austin Metcalf's father. Austin Metcalf
he's right there.
Is the teenager who was killed at this track meet 2 weeks ago. We have heard from Metcalf's father. We have heard from Metcalf's twin brother, actually, and we just learned that the reason that this press conference is delayed, it was supposed to start at 11, is because Metcalf's father has arrived here. He's standing there behind that camera. He has sunglasses on. We've been watching him stand there for a few minutes, not really talking to anyone. We're not sure if there's been any engagement between Metcalf and Anthony's parents. We're not sure if there's communication of any kind. We just know that he has come into the building, that he is standing there, standing by with the rest of the media who's in the room to hear this press conference.
Never mind.
For those who are still, really following this case, you may know that earlier this week on Monday, Anthony was actually released from jail in Collin County after a judge lowered his bond. His bond was initially set at $1 million. That judge lowered it to $250,000, allowing for Anthony to be at home with an ankle monitor. So this is kind of the first thing that's happened since that bond hearing. His father testified at that hearing, but again, today we're expected to hear from perhaps both of his parents, who are going to address the media and actually make a public comment for the first time in this incident.
Wow.
Again, if you are just tuning in now, Austin Metcalf's father, the victim in this situation, his father is actually standing by in this
I'm
room.
turning it up. Sorry, guys.
It's unclear if he was expected to be here. We're assuming not, being so that this is kind of a reason for this delay in this press conference. But again, we're just standing by in the room. Media is prepared to hear what the Anthony family has to say.
Okay, so I mean, as we wait, okay, I do have it turned all the way up, just so you guys know. Let me see.
So apparently, Mr. Metcalf, Austin Metcalf's father, who we just pointed out is in this room, has actually been asked to leave the press conference.
Oh,
This is
wow.
a press conference where Anthony's parents. Metcalf's father has been asked to leave. As you can see, saw a few seconds ago, he is still
snap.
standing in the room. So apparently, we are being told that Dallas police have been called to this location after Metcalf's father has refused to leave. We're standing by and waiting to see what comes.
What?
But if you are just tuning in, Austin Metcalf's father, the victim,
Oh,
a
damn.
couple of weeks ago, is in the room, standing by with everyone else as Karmelo Anthony's parents are expected to speak, and he has been asked to leave.
Oh, I was really hoping for something. Oh, that's messed up. Oh, I mean, I get it. I do.
Sorry, you see me nodding here. I'm getting more information. I'm from our producers as we stand by on this.
That is wild.
We're trying to get more information on whether or not this is a violation of a court order. Obviously, earlier this week, there was a bond hearing in this case. This case has gotten a lot of attention. It's been very contentious. So we're trying to get more information on whether or not there was a no contact order put in place, and if Austin Metcalf's father being in this room is a violation of that court order, being so that Karmelo Anthony's parents are expected to speak here as well. As soon as we have confirmation on that, we'll let you know. But just to recap this quickly, Austin Metcalf's father is in the room at this press conference that was scheduled and made public that Karmelo Anthony's parents were going to speak, and he has arrived. He has been asked to leave. He is still standing in the room, and we are being told that Dallas police have been called.
Wow. Wow. He's right, but he's still right there. He's still right there, though.
We'll just leave you here with a look at the room, and we'll update you with new information as we get it.
Okay, I'm gonna mute her for a second. Okay. So what is going on right now is, just for you guys who are late to the party, the press conference was supposed to happen about 18 doggone minutes ago. Okay, and now the press conference has been postponed for a little bit because the father, he is right behind this camera right here. He is right here. Just so you know, the father of Austin Metcalf is in the room. Okay, they are asking for him to leave the press conference, which I have to hit the button again. I honestly thought that he was there in solidarity, but the parents of Karmelo Anthony are nervous. They're scared. Okay, they're scared and intimidated by the fact that the father is there. Okay, so the father of Austin Metcalf, the one who passed away. All right, so they're trying to get him to go. So police are on their way to get him out of that press conference. And I guess there's some sort of protective order that's been issued or something. I don't know. But one thing is for sure, I thought it was going to be a thing of him showing up and him being like, I'm here in solidarity. I'm here to say, like, let's stop with the BS. Let's stop with the ridiculousness. Let's let it work out in court. Right. That's not the case. At least that's not what they're saying right now. They're saying that Austin Metcalf's father is there and is basically trying to do some sort of passive aggressive intimidation by showing up to this press conference. So again, if that is the angle, then I get it. I get why the parents of Karmelo Anthony are saying, please, can you not be in the room while we have this press conference? I was really hoping for something different, but unfortunately, that is not the case. Just so you guys know, this man right here, okay, right here, He has shades on. I guess he had shoulder surgery a while back or something like that. He is the father of Austin Metcalf. He's allegedly not supposed to be in this press conference. Hence the reason why there is a delay. They say that police are on their way to try to escort this man out of there. And he's probably getting a text message or a phone call right now by somebody, I'm sure, trying to say, hey, man, can you you might need to leave because the police are on their way to get your ass. Something that's crazy. Let's see if this reporter's saying anything. So far, nothing. But I'm gonna keep the sound on for a second. This is bad. This is no bueno, and this is not what I was hoping for. Real talk, I thought it was going to be something unbelievably this is unprecedented too, right here. But I was hoping on the positive that they were going to be there like, yo, well, let's not make it a thing. Let's not make it a race thing. Let's be positive. Let's be kind to each other. Let's be blah, blah, blah. Let them do what they need to do, okay, in this, in court. But that's not the case here. Now, you never know. The father of Austin Metcalf has, I'm sure, has gone through his own roller coaster ride of emotions. His son is gone. One of his sons is gone. So I understand him being upset, okay? But him showing up here can be misinterpreted because him showing up to this press conference, some may look at this and go, hey, he's just there for positivity. Some others could be like, no, he's here for bad intentions.
In Dallas, where we were expected to hear from the family of Karmelo Anthony at about 11 o'clock. It's about 20 minutes past the hour. And we are told that this delay is because unexpectedly, the father of the victim in this case, Jeff
That
Metcalf,
is crazy.
Austin Metcalf, has arrived. He's standing there behind that camera. You can kind of see his shoulder there in a blue shirt. We are told that Mr. Metcalf was asked to leave. He has refused to leave. He is still standing there.
He's refusing to leave.
Police have been called. If you are unfamiliar with this case, or if you just need to be caught up on it, it's been almost exactly 2 weeks. Yesterday marked 2 weeks since one student was accused of stabbing and killing another student, both Frisco ISD students, at a track meet.
Let me just tell you something too. Police are taking their sweet-ass time to get there. I'm going to be real talk, okay? Let me just say that. They're taking their sweet-ass time. But there he is, guys. There he is, just sitting there chilling. He ain't strapped. He ain't got no weapon on him. But I get it. That could make somebody feel, I get it. I'd be nervous about that too. I'm going to be real. Wait, you mean he's here? The father of the son. Wait. No. We can't do this right now. Nuh-uh. He might start a riot. He might start something. But what are you going to do with a shoulder and, strapped up and everything? You know what I mean? I don't see no heater on his waist or nothing, right? But you never know. He might have something in his pocket. Not saying that he would do anything crazy like that, but at the same time, he's saying he ain't leaving.
And try to speak with him. He doesn't really seem to be interacting. These are still photos, but when we were watching the video,
he
didn't really seem to be interacting with anyone. He's kind of standing in the back of the room.
Oh, damn.
Again, was asked to leave. Still standing in the room. So we are waiting on an update on what's going to happen with that, as Dallas police have been called. But what we do know is that there was a court order put in place that Anthony, who is the accused killer in this case, was told he could not have any contact with Metcalf's family. This press conference was for Anthony's parents, Karmelo Anthony's parents. It's unclear if he is actually in the building. So it's unclear if Jeff Metcalf being here is a violation of a court order. We just know that Karmelo Anthony is not to have contact with the Metcalf family, indirectly or directly, according to a court order. So we are standing by to get more information on that. But we are told that Jeff Metcalf's presence in this room is the reason that we are late, the reason that we have not started this yet.
Wow.
We are waiting on information on that.
Wow. This is insane.
Okay. We have just learned that Karmelo Anthony is actually not in the building.
Okay.
So
he's on an ankle bracelet.
That this would be a violation of a court order. So it's still a bit unclear what the delay is here. Perhaps him just being there is the reason.
Hold on.
What the delay is. It doesn't seem that this would be a violation of a court order. So it's still a bit unclear what the delay is here. This press conference until Jeff Metcalf.
Unbelievable.
So.
Unbelievable, y'all. So it's not a violation of any type of court order that Jeff Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf, is there. Carmelo Anthony is not not on the premises. He is locked up at home. Okay. He has an ankle monitor on his leg. He ain't moving nowhere. So he's not there. He can't be there. So again, this is very interesting. Okay.
Here, and the advocacy group that is, really hosting this press conference says that they will not start the press conference while he is.
Wow.
So we are just standing by. Seems
Wow.
to be a bit of a stalemate at this time. Again, he has been asked to leave. Obviously, he's still standing there. So it's unclear what the resolution will be here. We will keep you updated. We're going to stay here until we see what happens here, and we'll update you.
He probably just wants to hear what they got to say. That could be it.
And we just panned in the room there.
That could be
we're
it.
Taking a look at the podium at the office. This is where we're assuming when there is a press conference, if there's a press conference, this is where they will. But what we were looking
This
at,
press
and we're able to pan back, I'll point out to you, Jeff Metcalf, who has arrived at this scene, who is the.
This is insane. Okay. This is insane. In a way, it makes you want to go, hey, can you just walk over to him and ask him, hey, why are you here? Or, hey, appreciate you being here, but is there any reason why you're here specifically? Is there something that you want to say? Is there something you know what I mean? What is your intent here? What's your intention here? Just let us know. No, you just want to hear and that's it? Cool. Right? Yeah, I don't know. I have it all the way up, y'all. All right, just so you know, I have it all the way turned up.
Wave of falsehoods in this case. So the purpose of this
All the way.
press conference was for them to essentially set the record straight from their point of view. It seems as if they were not expecting for Mr. Metcalf to be here. They said they are not going to speak until he leaves. Now, what we haven't seen is really any confrontation, really any interaction from Mr. Metcalf since he's arrived here. It's unclear if they've made contact, if they've spoken or anything like that.
Right.
The only thing we know at this point is that there seems to be a stalemate here with the family saying that they're not going to speak until he leaves.
And I will say this, every interview that he has done so far, there's been a lot of peace in his heart. He's been very calm and collected. He, of course, is mourning his son and all that. And yeah, you never know what kind of mental state he is in right now. Yes, he's probably going through a roller coaster ride of different emotions. He just lost his son. Regardless of what side of the fence you are standing on, he still lost his son. So I could see him being here, and it could just be with no ill intent. It could very well be that. He's just like, I just want to be here. And maybe he's thinking that by showing up, and this is just me thinking the glass is half full. I guess me just being the positive individual that I am, I keep thinking that maybe he is showing up in solidarity because he's trying to make it not be a race thing. That maybe he's going, hey, I want to squash all this crap, and I'm here. I want to hear what they got to say. And yeah, let's squash these rumors. Maybe he's there in solidarity. We don't know what he's saying right now. We don't know why he's there, right? But at the same time, I can understand a family that's about to speak out being a little nervous about the father of the slain son showing up. That would definitely make me nervous. Shoot. Okay. Wanda, thank you so much for being a member for the past 5 months. We all bleed the same way, no matter the color of the skin. Yes, I agree. Just getting these super chats here really quick. Okay. There's going to be more. I feel like she's repeating the same thing over and over again. If there's any updates, I'll let you guys know here shortly. True Crime with the Psychic Goddess. Thank you so much for the love. I think the other presser you played was, yep, exactly, about yes. That is the presser that I did was for the school tragedy that we covered a couple days ago. That particular person turned themselves in. Okay. Of course, I'm going to look into that, the case in Allison 1 for sure. Rod, thank you so much. The dad is a criminal. Not surprised he won't leave. Yeah, I heard stories about that, but I have not seen anything saying otherwise. So as Techian, thank you. Like father, like son. He's the reason why Austin is a cloud baby. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll see what is all going down. But like I said, I've heard stories, but I have not delved into that side of the story personally. Rose, thank you so much for the love. I think Austin dad wants them to violate the bond. He may want Karmelo back in jail. Maybe, but Carmelo's not there. So violation is not done, right? Because Karmelo is not there. Okay. Let's continue. Rose, thank you so much for the love and for the membership for the past month. I appreciate it. Dad acting like Karmelo when he refused to move. LOL. Moving on. Rose again. Is he trying to prove a point? Thank you so much for the super chat. Is he trying to prove a point about Karmelo? What Karmelo did about not moving? I'm confused by his actions. I'm curious about that too. Let's hear what this reporter got to say. Exactly.
Yeah, that press conference was supposed to start here at 11 o'clock. We're here in downtown Dallas. This press conference was precipitated by Next Generation Action Network, a Dallas-based advocacy group.
Have mercy,
on
y'all.
behalf of the Karmelo Anthony family. You know, over the last 2 weeks, we've been getting press statements from them. This was the opportunity to hear from them for the first time. We're now hearing from Dominique Alexander with Next Generation that this press conference has been delayed. I'm going to have Billy Bryant, who is one of our photographers, go out, show you a lot of the people here still waiting for this press conference to happen. And the reason for this delay is because Austin Metcalf's father is here, Jeff Metcalf. As you know, Karmelo Anthony was arrested, charged with murder in the death of Austin Metcalf. Police say Metcalf was stabbed with a knife at a track meet in Frisco. You see there a picture of Jeff Metcalf. He is on his phone. Had a chance to talk with somebody there with Next Generation Action Network. They tell us they've asked Jeff Metcalf to leave. He said no.
Wow.
They said they were going to call DPD to remedy this situation, have Jeff Metcalf leave.
Oh, he said hell no.
According to Next Generation, they are not going to have both families here in the same location at the same time. They said there's a court order that says that. We've been looking through some of our documents. I don't think there's anything that says that per se. Now there is some language that says Karmelo Anthony cannot have any connection with the Metcalf family in any way. So we're still trying to figure out what's going on here. Still a very fluid situation. Again, a delay here. It's supposed to start at 11 o'clock. It is now after 11:30. We'll see what ends up precipitating here.
Hamburger.
Obviously very heightened when you have this situation and both families in the same room when they haven't had this before. So that is understandable. Okay, well, listen, we'll check back in with you. We know you're talking to people, and we'll get to the bottom of it. Thank you so much, Jobin.
Oh my Lord. Okay, go get and check it. Okay, hold on.
You just heard from Jobin Puneker, who is actually live at the Next Gen Action Network.
The sound's all over the place, guys.
If you're curious at all about how Jeff Metcalf was able to get in there, just if you've never been there, they actually have an office in a co-working space. So there are other offices in that building as well. So that's probably how he was able to easily get into there. And again, the family says they're not going to speak while he's there. Next Generation says they don't want both families in the same place. Now, earlier this week on Monday, there was a bond hearing held, and that's where a judge actually lowered Anthony's bond from $1 million to $250,000. We actually went to some in-depth conversation in a special that we produced just on this issue to help walk you through this with some of our reporters who have actually been covering this extensively. And I want to give you a look at that while we wait for an update in this situation.
Diggity damn. Why I gotta be so damn loud? Okay.
Joining us here on WFA Plus, I'm Chris Sadeghi, and we are going to take you inside the hearing.
I got a poll I'm doing real quick.
Anthony that happened on Monday morning. There's a lot of public interest on this case. There were no cameras allowed inside the courtroom. So joining me are Jobin Puneker and Brittany Moncrief.
Got a poll.
Three of us were inside that courtroom, and we're here to really take you through what was said, what you were not able to see in here because of the ban on cameras.
Okay, so we already know about the hearing and all that, and don't worry, we'll probably go in and out of this and everything. But I am kind of curious about your thoughts on this. Okay, as we wait, as we are patiently, and some of us impatiently, like myself, I got things to do too here. Hopefully, we get this press conference on and rolling. But here's the thing. Okay, I have a poll, and it says should he stay? Okay. Do you think Jeff Metcalf should stay? And I'm just going to put it up because here's the thing. If he's not, and the question I have is he's not violating any court orders or anything at all. Like he has a right to stand there. Technically, he has a right to stand there. Real talk. If he's not, okay. Man, this is insane. Okay. Do you think he should stay or should he go? Should he stay or should he go now? Isn't that a song? Right? I'm just saying. Should they have a right? Should his father have a right to be in that room? And the fact that he has refused to leave is insane. And what's interesting about this is that as the reporter is reporting, the guy's reporting, he's echoing through the room. So you could hear, for a fact that Jeff Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf, can hear the reporter being like, yes, as we are here, we're waiting on the other side of the wall. And we can see right here, Jeff Metcalf is standing right there in the audience of this press conference. And we have already asked him to leave, and he has refused to leave. So we're waiting for DPD to show up and take him or ask him to escort him out of the room and all that stuff. But he has refused to leave. His voice is echoing throughout the entire room. You don't think that Jeff Metcalf can hear that? I'm just saying, come on. And some of y'all are saying this is a bully tactic. I don't know. I don't know why he's not. Well, here's the thing. At first, I thought, oh, glass half full. We're gonna stay on the positive side of things, only to find out that he's actually there for whatever reason he's there for. And we still don't know what he's there for, right? We still do not know. He could be there for some sort of ill intent, to heckle at the parents for speaking out or whatever. So this is very interesting. But I also will say this too. I'm sorry that I'm about to say this. I'm so sorry. Don't be mad. Don't be mad at me, okay? But I'm sorry, but I gotta say this, all right? He's the same person that said, let's not make this a thing. Leave the family alone. Let us grieve. Let us do our thing. Please, let's not make this a thing. He has said that on so many different interviews. And yet, he is here, passive aggressively stirring the pot. I'm sorry, but he is. Okay? They've asked him to leave, and he's saying no. And I will say this too. That's his legal right. But at the same time, optically, that's saying a little bit different when they ask them to politely and kindly leave. And then the father, who has been saying, hey, let's not make this a thing, says, hail to the no. It's very interesting, y'all. Very interesting. All right. But it is his legal right. If he's not violating any laws and violating any court orders or anything of that sort, he's allowed to be in that room. Technically, he is. But I understand I understand the concerns coming from the Anthony family. I do get that. Okay. But this is a passive aggressive intimidation tactic, it seems like, especially after he showed up, or after they come up to him and politely ask him to leave. That's what the reports are saying. They politely asked him to leave and he refused to leave. That says something. It's like, oh, really? You want me to go? Oh, okay. All right. I'll leave. I'm sorry. I'll leave. That's one thing. But him sitting there saying, no, I'm not leaving. That could be interpreted in a very negative kind of way, guys. Let me get some of these super chats here really quick. And thank you so much for gifting five memberships. I appreciate this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Beautiful Messy Ball. Thank you so much for the love. People keep saying this is about a tent that didn't belong to Austin, but it was a sporting event. Yeah, it was a sporting event. Would they say the same if it was a ball game and it was a team side of the field /court? That's a very good question. That's actually a very good question. If you really think about it, it is property. It is public property. If you really think about it, or wherever they were, right? It's open to the public. It's not like it's a private domicile, right? It's not a home or a car or anything of that sort, right? It's not an RV. It's public ground. So again, where the tent was, it doesn't matter. It's not like there's, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's public ground. So they can't use that argument, from my understanding. Maybe there's something new that I don't know in Texas law. But as far as this goes, I wonder what would have happened if this was on a football field or a basketball court or a baseball field. Those are some good questions. That's a good question. Beautiful, beautiful messy ball. Thank you so much for the question. Hollywood 2000, thank you so much for being a member for the past 39 months. Diggity dang it. Thank you. He's not helping the situation with this behavior. He should hold his own presser if he wants to speak. He should hold his own presser if he wants to speak. If he wants to make his own appearance and say something, you know what I mean? That's another thing, right? That's another thing. That's his right. Hold a presser and do your thug thizzle. But the fact that he is saying, you know, the fact that he's out here and they're asking for him to quiet down, says him refusing to show up or leave. I mean, that says a lot, you know?
That's what's happening now, guys. Hit that like
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Hit that like button down below. Hit it.
one thing, and also him by him standing there and not
making a statement, and it may not be the statement that he wants to make right now. You see what I'm saying? So he must have
The
left.
gentleman that you just saw there on your screen at the podium is Dominique Alexander. He is the president of the Next Generation Action Network. This is the advocacy group that is actually hosting a press conference for the parents of Karmelo Anthony. They've been releasing statements for the family.
We get started so we can put some
he's
house
back up
rules
there.
together. If we can swing over here and swing across the wall, we have security that are here in the building. We have a blended of Dallas Police Department and security for the Next Generation Action Network. Let me make this very clear because I say this unapologetically. The Next Generation Action Network has never played with the safety and security of anything. We don't play those type of games, all right? We like to, whenever we're doing a protest or anything, everybody in the media know we don't play when it comes to safety and security. So we're gonna ask one time for it and ask you to slide over just one time. We're not gonna ask anybody something twice, okay? I will make sure that the safety of this family is ensured. It won't happen on my watch. I just want you to know so that you can quote it. If we have to ask more than once, just know that's coming at the direction of me. You can quote me on that, all right?
Oh, damn. So Metcalf is still in the house. Metcalf is still in the mother-loving house. And he just said, hey, man, if you're starting to feel squirrely, we got people. We got people. That's basically what he's saying. That is wild. Why would he stay? Why would the father stay? They asked him to leave. Like I said.
You just heard from Dominique Alexander, the president of the Next Gen Action Network. We are expecting to hear from the parents of Karmelo Anthony, the high school student who was accused of stabbing and killing another high school student at a track meet about 2 weeks ago. This press conference was delayed because the father of the student who was killed unexpectedly arrived at the press conference. Originally, the Next Gen Action Network said that the press conference would not go on as long as Mr. Metcalf, Jeff Metcalf, was in the room. It's unclear. I'm trying to get information about if he is still there, how that was resolved. But the president of this organization says that they are starting here in a few minutes.
Okay.
If you did hear what he just said, if you didn't, we'll recap you quickly. Alexander was very clear and did not mince words about security at this event. He said that there are DPD officers as well as private security in the premises. They are here. He said he was very, very clear in saying that they were only going to ask once for safety precautions to be taken. And he said, you know, that is their big priority with this press conference. Again, unclear if Mr. Metcalf is still in the room. If you are just joining us, you know, this is a case that has created so much speculation over the past 2 weeks. You have one family whose child was accused of murder for stabbing another student, and another family who is mourning the loss of their son. And today we are expected to hear from the parents of the child who has been accused. To get their side of the story. The group that's advocating for them says that they want to set the record straight. We're getting an update now on whether or not Mr. Metcalf is still in the room.
Wow. Okay. Now, like I said, like I said before, he said, you know, he has a choice here. Jeff Metcalf, Austin Metcalf's father, has a choice here. They asked him politely, allegedly, they asked him politely to leave. He refused to leave. Now, let me tell you this. Yes, he legally has every right to be in that room. But at the same time, out of common courtesy, out of the whole situation, the right thing to do is to just quietly and respectfully leave. I know that that does not make everybody happy, all right, what I'm saying right now, but that is facts, okay? The family is very uncomfortable with them having to speak out and say what they need to say in this situation. And here's the thing. They have an opportunity to speak out, okay? The family has an opportunity right now to speak out, just like Austin Metcalf's family has a right to speak out whenever they see fit. They have gone on multitude of interviews. They have. We've seen them on Fox News several times, local news several times. They've gone out and they have spoken out. Now, if they really do want to speak out more, they have every right to do a press conference, just like the Karmelo Anthony's family is doing as well. We have to keep this fair, guys. Okay? We have to keep this fair. But by him sitting there saying that he's refusing to leave is definitely making a statement for sure. Okay? It's definitely making a statement. Now, again, I put the poll up. I asked you guys, should he stay or should he go? Okay. Do you think he should stay? In 2 questions. Yes, he should stay, or yes, he should leave. But at the same time, this is the moment that the family, who hasn't said anything yet, in public at least, this is their opportunity to speak. Uninterrupted, without any issues. That's their right. Okay. They've asked him to politely leave, and he's still there. He won't leave because he doesn't want them to talk, which is that's not good. That's not good. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. If this was a situation where it was like, where, if the shoe was on the other foot type situation, I would say the same doggone thing. I'd be like, why is Karmelo Anthony's father in this house? And why is he refusing to leave? He needs to go. Yes, I get it. It's his legal right, and he's not violating any type of court orders or any restraining orders or anything like that. But at the same time, hey, in light of everything, there's an opportunity for this family to speak. If he wants to speak, he can schedule a presser and do one the very next day, okay? Or the very next 5 minutes after this press conference. Come on, guys. You know what I mean? But like I said, this is crazy. So it looks like they're about to rock and roll. Maybe. Hold on. Let me unmute. This is wild. This is wild, y'all. Woo-wee.
All right, guys and girls, about a minute. Sorry for the wait, I like drama, right?
Hit that like button down below. Let's get it to 1K if you can. That'll be greatly appreciated. A like is a free. Like is free. A like don't cost a thing. Hit that like button down below. Let's get it to 1K, please, and thank you. Press conference is about to get started here. I guess whether or not Metcalf leaves or not. So hit that like button down below. This is not a good look for Jeff Metcalf. I will say that. I'm sorry. It's not a good look. Okay? But I already know that there are going to be people out there that are going to be like, he has every right. This is blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I already know people are going to be losing their minds and trying to turn this into something else. Watch for the videos to start popping off after this press conference. Watch for the articles to start popping off and them spinning it, trying to make it seem something that it's not. Okay? If he's still there, it is what it is. But at the same time, It's not a good look for Metcalf, for Jeff, at least. Okay? Just saying. But hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Let's get it to 1K. That'll be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, please and thank you. All right? Like I've said a million times before, he has every right to be in that room. But they've asked him politely to leave, and he's refused to leave, which is sad. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. Some will think that this is intimidation. Some will think it's just a father wanting to be in the room to see what they got to say. But you know what? You know what? He could watch this live online too. He could have done that as well. Okay? He could have done that as well. Let's not forget that, guys. So, I'm not advocating for anybody. So, there's that. I'm just talking facts. But if you got a problem with that, I mean, there's plenty of other shows I'm sure that are watching this, and they may be saying the same doggone thing that I'm saying. Someone said he did leave. Okay.
Check, test 1 2, mic check, test 1 2. Thank you.
Oh, come on. Let's go. I mean, yeah. The question, I guess the next question I would ask you guys is, would you stay? If you were Austin Metcalf's father in this situation, if this was your kid in this situation, would you stay or would you go? Okay. And I'm not taking any, man, y'all aren't listening. This is sad. All right. But appreciate the super chat. I'm not taking anybody's side. I'm talking about what's right and what's wrong. Period. Let's take a look at this.
What you are looking at is video of Jeff Metcalf being escorted out of the co-working space.
There it is.
Next Gen Action Network's offices by Dallas Police. You see that there. Jeff Metcalf, the gentleman who was wearing the sunglasses and the blue shirt, who's being escorted out, is the father of Austin Metcalf, who was the teenager who was stabbed and killed with tracking 2 weeks ago. He is being asked to be escorted out of the press conference that is being held, where the parents of the child who was accused of killing Metcalf's child are expected to speak. You can see there he's shaking hands with officers.
Okay.
That press conference.
Let's go.
Here's Anthony's family.
Hello. Back door. Okay, I'm gonna spread this across y'all before I get started.
That must be the parents.
Just make sure you let me know if any one of your cameras are. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. We all good? We all good? Okay. All righty. I want to start off this press conference to say something as a deep note that I can tell America. What we seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference, these are my words, don't quote anybody, is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. Next Generation Action Network from the beginning has respected the loss of life. No matter our opinion of it, we have kept our opinion close. We have not attacked. We have not shared the information that was shared with us about Austin Metcalf because we respect the dignity of life and loss. And as a minister, I would not attack a grieving family, even if I disagree with them. When I have stood before this podium for people who have died at the hands of law enforcement, I have asked for that same manner of respect. And even when the shoe is on the other foot, I will not do that. And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who is not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop about this case. It is outright disrespectful. We haven't been doing it. The Next Generation Action Network has been here, popular and unpopular. So regardless of what's going on, that was disrespectful. Disrespectful. And I will leave it to y'all to define it. But of course, we want to. Y'all, I'm Minister Dominique Alexander. I serve as the president of the Next Generation Action Network. Today, I come before you with a heavy heart, but determined in spirit, not just as an advocate, but as a Black man, as a father, as a protector, community, and children. There are 4 critical points I must address today, and I want to make sure that the public and the media and everyone who believes in truth and justice. First, the misinformation about the fund. From the very beginning,
here we go.
There was an intentional disinformation surrounding the fund created in the support of the Anthony family. The Karmelo Anthony Fund, hosted by Give, Send, Go. Let's be clear. The family has not received one dime. Any of the media could have verified this, but we saw on Twitter, we saw on Facebook, and so many different things of the false, lavish life of this family. $800,000 home, purchase Escalade, and private security. Let me make this very clear. The Next Generation Action Network has always had its security detail. Many of you that know us in the Dallas and Fort Worth media know that we have our own security detail. One of the individuals that escorted Karmelo Anthony out of jail is here present with us now. They are a part of the Next Generation Action Network security team. The family hasn't hired any private contractors or whatever, or splurged or whatever. But if they have the audacity to spend money for their safety and security, that's their prerogative. The family has not withdrawn, and just until recently, Just yesterday, they were officially notified by Give, Send, Go that they could start the withdrawal process. But if anybody know about this process, they know that that takes about 2 to 3 days to withdraw from that and actually hit any account. But this blatant propaganda wasn't just about the fund. It was to discourage the public from giving to the fund. That's what this was about. Because just like TMZ was able to call, Give, Send, Go, everybody in the media in these news outlets that I've never heard before could have did the same thing. When I first called Give, Send, Go, they gave me every information that I needed. Okay? So that's what I'm going to say on regards to that. Let me make this very clear. This family never authorized a single fund on the GoFundMe platform. All of the funds that were raised on the GoFundMe were all fraud.
Ooh. Yikes. That just happened. That's like an SNL skit right there. I'm sorry.
All of the funds that was raised on that platform were fraud, okay? The family was the first to report these funds. One of the funds we identified raised up to $11,000. So a post about anything that stated that GoFundMe took everything down regarding Karmelo Anthony, that was at the request of the family and their supporters. This family never tried to create an account on GoFundMe. The Next Generation Action Network is very well aware of the company's policy regarding raising funds for legal defense, okay? Since this tragedy unfolded, the Anthony family has been subject to unimaginable amount of hate, racism, threats to their safety. People have sat outside their house, sent objects delivered to their door, publicly harassed, online and in person.
Wow.
This is not just about Karmelo. It's about the family who dared to stand and demand justice in a return and receive ugliness that racism in this country still breeds. But let me say this loud and clear. We are not scared. We are not moving. We will not be silent. What I've always said as the president of the Next Generation Action Network, we will never ask the oppressor for permission to liberate our people. We will not ask for permission to stand up for the rights of our children. The Next Generation Action Network has stood on both sides of the fence in ensuring that justice is served. Now, getting to the information that the Next Generation Action Network wanted to share with the public today. And I will go ahead and pass it over to the mother once I make this statement, okay? All right. There's two more final. For the last week and a half, the Next Generation Action Network has engaged in communications with Frisco ISD to ensure that Karmelo Anthony's due process is not violated. We know that in the state of Texas, there are things that are discretionary things and decisions by the leadership of Frisco ISD, right? There are clear guidance in the state and education code regarding expulsion of a student. We have asked several times. We didn't just rush. We have had these conversations over the last several days. And we have stated that it is just outright wrong to get involved in this. Karmelo Anthony doesn't have to walk. He doesn't have to involve in any senior activities. But Karmelo Anthony is a 3.7 GPA student. And if he doesn't even go to class for the remainder of the year, he would graduate. Okay? We've asked that Frisco do not make a decision in this situation. But Frisco ISD has notified of their intent to expel Karmelo Anthony from school 1 month before his high school graduation. That just shows me that Frisco ISD is trying to push off the blame. And what I have not heard the media say, as many media outlets have asked us what went on, I'm trying to find how many of y'all have asked the superintendent or one single board of trustee, why didn't you cancel or postpone? With weather in that magnitude, you couldn't have a track meet in rain or thunderstorm or clouds. Y'all are the media. Ask your journalists, your weather journalists, how the weather was that day and that time. Y'all do that research. Because as a person who is the administrator of your children, you are responsible for the safety of the children. And so it seems as if Frisco ISD is trying to push this off by making this decision that they do not have to make. So the Next Generation Action Network, outside of the legal process, will be going through different avenues regarding to ensure that we fight for the rights of Karmelo Anthony. Okay? So in the next coming days, we will be announcing to the public. We will do direct action outside of Frisco ISD administration office because this is outright wrong. You are getting involved in a process that even the legal process has asked us to respect. And we're asking you to do that same thing. You do not have to get involved in this situation. But it seems that even with us going and meeting or having conversations, they have made their mind up. And we want to make sure that the record, that we talk truth to power in regards. I wanted to lay this out to ensure, because of the sensitivity of this case, there are so many moving factors that I have to explain so that this family does not have to explain. Let me say this about the 4th, and let me repeat this so that you guys can go to the Frisco Police Department. The reason why the family or me or anybody with direct knowledge of this cannot talk about the particulars of what happened in that tent, I know you know this is all law, is because if anybody tell you there was an adult near or inside or whatever, this current investigation knows nothing about that. Everybody involved at this point of our knowledge are minors. In the state of Texas, you know we cannot release or talk about minors. So stop asking us the question. Stop. It's no. We can't even do it if we wanted to. Okay? We can't talk about it. So don't ask. There is a court of law that will express everything, will lay out everything. We can't talk about it if we wanted to. Okay? So make it clear. Go back, confirm with Frisco Police Department. Go back, confirm with the district attorney. Even in the bond hearing, you didn't see a single thing said about people that was indirect. They're minors. Okay? So stop the social media. Stop. I haven't saw not one person single-handedly get this right in the public. They're minors, y'all. Just stop. We can't. Don't send another inquiry to NGAN inbox. Do this, all of that. That's the reason why we felt like it was important to do this press conference today. We can't talk about it. So if you ask me, I'm just going to look at you, okay? So I'm telling the world, everybody know the state law. I'm not creating it. We can't talk about it. This family can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. Nobody, unless you want to be sued. You release one of those 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds name, the law of this land tells you what will going to happen to you, okay? So don't ask that question.
Damn. Okay.
Finally, in regards to this judge, I do not know Judge Angela Tucker. I've never met her, never known her, never been nowhere near her court. Don't know anything about her until we were notified that she was going to hear the writ. But the ugly attacks on her just shows Black America that no matter what you pick in the ballot box, and that is your constitutional right, it's people out here reminding us of the Black struggle in America. This woman is a registered Republican, has been for years. She put herself through school, she raised her family, she did everything. I am a registered Democrat, proud. I'm the chair of the Dallas County Democrat Resolutions Committee. I don't know that woman.
People are going to be ripping this
apart.
apart.
Leftist is just downright. The bond that was given is according to law and consistency with practice. If Aaron Dean can get a $300,000 bond when he killed a Tatiana Jefferson, Karmelo Anthony can get a $250,000. If Amber Geiger can get a $200,000 bond when she kills Botham Judge in his own home, he can get a $250,000. If Roy Oliver can get a $250,000 bond after he kills Jordan Edwards, all white officers, why couldn't Karmelo Anthony be entitled, a child with no background, no criminal background, no endangerment to the community, none whatsoever, be placed on a ELM and brought home? Please help me understand. Make this make sense. It's consistency. It's consistent with practice. After this, y'all, so that we'll know, this will be our final press conference until this trial.
Oh, okay.
We will not speak to the media again after this, okay? Don't ask for comment, question, or whatever it is. The actions that the Next Generation Action Network take on Frisco ISD will be as separate from the legal process because we want to make sure that Karmelo Anthony's due process. This is going to be a jury case. And then let me make this very clear. This is a case that has not even been indicted. So, under the guise of Texas law, it's not even really proceeding to a trial yet because it has not even went through a grand jury to be indicted. We don't know if a grand jury will indict or not. We don't know. That's in the district attorney's hands, okay? And their legal team is preparing a packet for those things, and we will not be talking about the legal process regarding this case, okay? So after today, I just want the media to know, and I want the public to know, I don't care what you say about me. I've been in this thing for 11 years. I am tried, tested, and proven. I'm gonna just say, I'm from Oak Cliff. Worser things have been said about me, baby. You ain't gotta inbox me, you ain't gotta tell me. I am the first person to tell my testimony. I don't have to prove anything to nobody. I am a proven testimony standing here that God, even when you make mistakes, God is not finished with your story. I'm going to bring this mother, Kayla Hayes, and it has taken her a lot of strength, y'all, to come and do this today. And I want you guys to respect her as she read this and giving her the respect that she deserves, y'all.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a 2-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution. We believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Y'all, I'm going to show something up of a post. You come for me, I come for you. Sarah Fields. Never heard of this woman. This is the kind of despicable things that led to the father being here. Political operatives motivating this family with hate. Karmelo Anthony posted on something that shows, posted here. These are the type of lies that are threatening this family. Posting the family's picture.
Yeah, that's messed up.
These are the type of lies. She's getting millions of views on this. Sarah, she's even came after me. She's even said all of those things. And now that the public knows exactly what is going on, I asked, because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Kyle Rittenhouse had, Daniel Penna, and all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was. He should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Kyle Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. We got that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything. So since they tried to come for us, I call for the community's overwhelming support for this fund. The disinformation that was put out was literally deliberate to prevent you from helping this family. And I want you to give overwhelming support to show them the community united can never be divided. And I'm going to say this again, and this is for everybody. Black people in America, while the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania, Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day. It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to. We don't like to, but if we want to sleep at night, we got to. I ain't pulling no race card. I live it. I'm reminded all the time that I'm a Black man in America. And what y'all just showed to Judge Tucker is just reminded that hate and bigotry and racial reconciliation in this country, we have respected the process. I believe that Austin Metcalf is about to have his funeral.
Why are they doing that?
And I wouldn't dare, even with the information I know, and plenty people can share that and all that, but we have prevented from speaking about that in these type of public forums. It will come out. They have a more than well-capable attorney, and this family will go through a process of being able to get prepared for this trial. So I just say this real quick. This is our final time speaking to public and holding a press conference regarding this particular case. Now, the Next Generation Action Network will talk about Frisco ISD, but we will not do this. I will not ask this mother to do this again. The attorney will not. We won't do this again. Don't ask. We will see you at trial.
Are you going to answer
Whatever
questions?
venue that is, we will see you there. I stand 10 toes down supporting this family. And I want to thank all of the community leaders and people that I have seen that have came here today. Bishops and pastors and clergy, community leaders with respectability in this community. I see them today, and I want to thank them for their presence because this family needs strength right now. Thank you, and God bless you.
No statements? Or no questions, I'm sorry? Okay.
For the first time, we just heard from Kayla
There it
Hayes,
is.
who is the mother of Karmelo Anthony, the Frisco ISD student who was accused of stabbing and killing another Frisco ISD student at a track meet a couple weeks ago. You know, what we just heard from Hayes, if you didn't get to hear all of her comments, she was very emotional, very tearful, being held by her husband. And her message today was really informing the public of the way that her family has been impacted over the past 2 weeks. She says that her family has been threatened, they've been attacked, and they've been lied about. She said that she believes in the Constitution and the law, and her ask of the public and her ask is that we just watch this play out. This case is, as what's been indicated here, is going to go to trial, and she said she wants a fair trial for her son. She was very emotional talking about the way this has impacted her other children, her husband, who she said had to take a leave from work, and she also did mention the Metcalf family. Austin Metcalf is the teenager that was killed in this case. She says that her heart goes out to this family that has suffered a loss. If you've been with us over the past hour, this press conference was actually delayed because Austin Metcalf's father actually showed up to the press conference, did not leave when he was asked to leave initially, and was peacefully escorted out. We've got video of that now by Dallas police. During this press conference, Dominic Alexander, who is the president of the organization that hosted this press conference, spoke about Metcalf being at the press conference. He called it disrespectful. As you can see here, Mr. Metcalf had a calm conversation with officers. I believe he shakes hands with the officer he's speaking with before he walks away. And he had stood in the back of the room with his sunglasses on like he's wearing now, not really engaging with anyone, but did stand there for some time and again, refused to leave when he was initially asked before police actually escorted him off after we're told the owner of the co-working space where this office is told him he was trespassing if he refused to leave. A really emotional couple of minutes hearing from Kayla Hayes, whose son is charged with murder in this case. She said she wants a fair trial for her son. We did hear quite a bit from Dominic Alexander, again, who is the president of the organization that has been advocating for this family. And he wanted to clear up a couple of things. He spoke about what he called disinformation about a fund that was created for Karmelo Anthony, saying that the parents, Karmelo Anthony's parents, have not access to what he said is a dime of that money, saying that they were just notified yesterday that they are able to make withdrawals, and that even if they were to do that, it would take some time. He also said that the family never authorized a GoFundMe account for their son.
Yeah, so there's a couple things that were being said here that, of course, we need to rap about. Okay, you know, I took some notes, a few notes, just a little bit of a recap. You know, we just heard some of it right there. Again, you know, I think that this press conference was necessary. Some may disagree. Some may think I'm reading you guys' comments in here, and some of y'all are wild. But I will say this, okay? I think it was necessary. I think it was good that they came out and they had to say what they needed to say, whether we like what they had to say or not. Okay, whether we agreed with it or not. All right, but I think it was something that needed to have been said. Okay, and again, they're saying that the give, send, go. Okay, I'm just gonna show the actual press conference itself. All right. So so here's a few things, a few takeaways. All right. So the give, send, go is definitely theirs. They have not touched one red cent. Okay. They have not touched not 1 cent of that thing. All right. There's a lot of misinformation being flown out here. Like he was talking about, like, oh, we're buying new houses and cars and just using it on going on spending sprees on the money that was raised on the give, send, go. They're saying, hey, we have not touched 1 red cent of that. So quit with the BS and quit with the lies and the misinformation. Then he also said that as far as the safety and security expenses that they are paying for in regards to their safety, that's their business. That's their prerogative. And he's got a point there. If they want to get help, okay. If they want to get some security, then they have every right to do that. Just like the Metcalf family has every right to do that as well, right? And again, too, if the Metcalf family does do a press conference, which they really haven't done a press conference. Yes, they've done interviews. They've done a bunch of interviews, but they have not done a press conference. So it'll be interesting to see what they have to say about a press conference, or what they would say in a press conference if they actually do a press conference. That's one thing for sure. But again, if they want to get security and they're paying it out of their own pocket right now, that is their prerogative. That is their right. And of course, understandably, they got kids. They don't only just have Karmelo. They have kids, and people are sending some very, very volatile, racist, and scary stuff to them. They are getting harassed, as he said. According to what they're saying here, they're getting harassed in public even. If they went to the local supermarket just to go get some milk and a loaf of bread, they're getting attacked as they're going to places, okay? At the end of the day, that is wrong, okay? That is wrong, all right? So, one second, guys. So the thing is that at the end of the day, you know, there are certain things that I feel like should be fair and understandable for both sides of the conversation. Doesn't matter if this family was white or black. Still, no matter what, I would sit here and say the same thing. Hey, leave the family alone. They're not the ones on trial. It's their kid that's on trial. But you guys with your selective hearing, because I'm seeing some of the comments. Some of y'all have some selective hearing, and you only want to hear what you want to hear. But I'm telling you right now, if the shoe was on the other foot and this was your life, I feel like you would be saying, yeah, leave us alone. We're not on trial. It's our kid. Can we please live our life and do what we need to do so we can live our life and let our kid have their time in trial, a fair trial. That's it. And then let them make the decision right then and there, the verdict. Okay? The selective hearing is insane. All right? So moving on, because I'm seeing the comments. Y'all are wilding out here. Okay? The other thing, GoFundMe funds. The GoFundMe account is not real. But we've seen this a million times before. We've seen plenty of GoFundMe accounts suddenly be erected from tragedies or missing person cases, etc., only to find out that those GoFundMe accounts are not real. So don't do anything. If you're going to go and patron, okay, support their cause, support Karmelo. The only one that actually exists is the Give, Send, Go, which they have not touched. And apparently they're saying that they now are starting to get authorization to actually touch the funds. But hopefully they won't touch the funds for a while. Hopefully they'll sit back and just let it sit there and only use it when it's time to use it for legal expenses. We will see what happens, okay? Anything's possible. But for right now, the whole new house, new car, all that stuff being bought by the Give, Send, Go information is BS. All right. Now, of course, they're saying that Karmelo Anthony will be expelled from school a month before he gets his chance to walk and get his diploma and graduate. Now, I leave that up to you guys. I will honestly say he had a weapon. He also took the life of somebody. Okay, that is massive. And apparently, what Dominique Alexander here, the spokesperson for the family, is saying that this is the high school's way of trying to push off blame, right? And not let this kid walk. What do you think? Do you think the kid should walk or not? I will say this. If you're alleged of doing something really bad, I don't blame the school for saying, hey, yeah, you're expelled. They have zero tolerance on violence, don't they? When it comes to high schools. So that part, he might have to go and get his GED, or he might have to go and do some online classes and get his stuff and graduate another way, which is unfortunate. But these are the choices that this young man made when he decided to bring a knife to a track meet. That's just something else we got to think about. And again, even that he had 3.7 GPA, he went in again. Zero tolerance in school. You brought a weapon to a school event. A person loses their life. That's something. Okay. Now, there was a part here that kind of threw me off. And I wish I could find it. I think it was before it was after he knocked off all the microphones. I feel like that was out of a SNL skit. But one thing is something that was interesting that he said. He said something along the lines of like blaming it on the rain. Okay. It's 3.7 GPA. Did I say 4.7? 3.7. Okay. 3.7 GPA. Apparently he could graduate right now without even finishing the rest of his school, allegedly. Okay. But here it is though. Okay. But here it is though. Yeah. The Milli Vanilli. That's the part that I was like, wait a second. Are they really saying I was like, wait a second. Are you talking about the rain? What's going on with the rain? That's one part I need to like replay on when I have some free time to rewatch that part for sure. Because I'm sitting there going like, what? He's blaming it on the rain. That don't make no earthly sense. But okay. All right. But anyway, moving on. Then we hear from the mom. Okay. And this is the one thing. First off, she's like, we're scared. We're scared for our lives. We're seeking counseling, etc. Okay, because there's a lot that's going on, right? And understandably, they're scared, and I would be too if I were in their shoes. Doesn't matter. Suddenly, you're getting hateful messages. You're getting attacked at home. You're getting attacked at public places, etc. That is a scary thing. And if you guys were in their shoes for just 2 seconds, no matter what the case is, it's a scary, scary feeling. I'm sure of it. To the point where the kids, their own children, are scared to sleep alone by themselves in their own bedrooms because they're scared of somebody trying to come after them. That's terrible. That's terrible. Okay? Now, something that the mom said that I thought was very interesting. She said Metcalf boys. And I hope I'm not the only one who saw that and heard that. But she said the altercation between my son, I'm going to play that. We're going to play her part one more time. We're going to listen to it. We're going to dissect because she said some things, at least in the very beginning. And that was very telling in my personal opinion. All right, let's take a listen.
And giving her
she said Metcalf boys, deserves, plural. Hold on, we're gonna play it. We're gonna play it for all y'all in the nosebleed seats. She said Metcalf boys. Hear me out.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, in the wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys.
Just so you guys know. So instantly when I hear something like that, because I'm an inquisitive mother lover, I instantly go, wait a second. because there's been a lot of allegations and a lot of speculation about there possibly being a situation that happened between both kids and Karmelo. Now, this does not confirm anything. We haven't heard anything as far as what happened. We don't know anything yet. But what's interesting is that, for a fact, she would not say boys if she did not mean boys. But I will also say this too. Let me remind you, everything she is hearing is probably just from her son. Understandably, she's going to have a bias because it's her son. Who wouldn't have their bias and want to defend their son? So, of course, she's going to take what he says as scripture. There is a possibility, though, that he could be telling the truth about both boys going after Karmelo. Simply by her not saying just Austin Metcalf's name, she says the Metcalf boys, plural. Something to think about. Could be nothing, but it could be something too. And remember, I've said this in the very beginning, and I'm going to keep on saying it till I'm blue in the face. Karmelo Anthony could be lying. I know people are going to be mad about me saying that too. But hey, there's a possibility he could be lying. He could be saying, hey, it was self-defense and it happened between the two twins. And he's saying that because he doesn't want to go to jail for life, right? He's scared. But there's still a good possibility that something did happen where he had to protect himself. We still have to have that on the table because we don't know all the evidence and we don't have all the information yet. But now we're hearing from the mom. We haven't heard anything from the father yet, but we're hearing from Kayla, Miss Kayla Hayes, the mother of Karmelo Anthony. And she says, regardless of what you've heard about my son, what happened between my son and the Metcalf boys, that's a massive bombshell in my personal opinion. Don't worry, I'm going to play it again for y'all, just in case if you guys are a little late to the party, baby.
Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys.
There you go. So that's very interesting. And I agree, the classic one, release the vids. Release the evidence so we can put some of these things to rest. Because again, I'm sure she made it might be a little bit of a mistake. Like maybe she didn't mean to put out that information, or maybe she did. It's one small little thing. There's nothing else that she says in here that has anything pertaining to the actual case, just so you know. But at the end of the day, I'm going, hey, I want to hear and see the footage so we can actually see what's going on. Because again, we're hearing stories from the brother, Hunter, and he's saying, yeah, I tried to whip around and I tried to whip around quick enough and it was too late. What is the whip around? What does he mean exactly? What actually happened here? Was Karmelo attacked not only just by Austin, but by his twin brother, Hunter? What's actually going on here? And of course, I feel like we're going to actually have to sit back and wait till we find out more information. Now, let me get some of these super chats. And again, I appreciate all y'all for being here. I know this is a very sticky and tough conversation. People are feeling some type of way about this. And some of y'all need to find different words to say in these chats instead of these racist comments. I mean, real talk. Y'all need to be better than that. That's some sad stuff. But moving on, okay? Grateful. Thank you so much. In my honest opinion, Austin's dad deserves to stay, but law enforcement should be present. He has every right to be there, but to the stipulations of his anchor monitor, say no. I say you're right. If there could have been a way that, I will say this, in a perfect world, and if Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf, was not there to do any ill will, he could have easily just gone to the police and said, hey, man, I'm not here to do anything bad. I'm just here. I want to hear what they have to say face to face. You can stand right next to me. I'm not going to do anything. I just want to hear what's going on. He could have said that. He could have, but that's not what he allegedly said. They asked him to leave and he flat out said no. Now, yes, that was his legal right. But at the same time, out of the safety of these families, okay, on both sides, I think it's best for him to leave so that they can do what they need to do uninterrupted, without any type of intimidation of any kind, and so that they can just keep moving and do what they need to do, which is make their one and only address to the nation, okay, to the world, all right, that is following and covering this case. You got to remember, with all due respect, and I know this is going to anger a lot of people, and I don't care, but at the end of the day, we have seen countless interviews by the Metcalf family. They have had countless interviews, y'all. They've been on Fox News and local news, etc. This family has not spoken out, not once. Okay? We've heard sources say certain things, but we have heard nothing from them. They have not done a public on-camera interview or statement at all. This is the first time they're doing that. So, of course, I can see them feeling a little intimidated by somebody showing up and being there. That would be scary. I'm going to be real. That's scary. You don't know what he's there for. Let's be real. But I get it. He has a right. He's not violating any laws. He's not violating any court orders, restraining orders of any kind. Nothing of that sort. But at the same time, when they're just about to speak out for the very first time, I can see the intimidation. I can see the fear and the anxiety rising as they hear that the father of the victim is in the room. God knows what he would have done. Even if it was just peacefully standing there, still, it can make people feel some type of way. True Crime, thank you so much. Metcalf dad, who was charged with SA. I've heard the story. I don't know if it's entirely true. I have not looked into it. I've just been trying to keep an even blanketed view on this whole thing. And it's been very tough because everybody and they mama is just, wilding out with opinions. Rose, thank you so much. Maybe the dad feels they're on BS and is daring them to speak in his front. It's like he's advocating for his son's behalf by being there. Well, he has been advocating. I understand what you're saying here, Rose, but he has been advocating by doing the interviews, by speaking out. Even so, which it kind of surprises me about his reaction today. He has been very even-minded. He has been very cool-headed with this whole thing. As far as the interviews go, he has been very like, guys, let's not make this a race thing. Let's not make it be this, that, and the third. I've already forgiven Karmelo. I have found peace in my heart, so on and so forth. He's already said those things. Shoot, like the very next day after Austin Metcalf lost his life, he was saying those things. So it is kind of shocking that he's there. And then when they ask him to politely leave, he says, no, that's a little bit of a shock. I'm going to be real. It's a little bit shocking. But I understand grief, okay? And the loss of a life. It's a crazy roller coaster ride, okay? Blended, thank you so much. Didn't Karmelo do the same thing? I guess he did, right? But allegedly, he had a knife. That's the only difference, really. But we don't know the altercation. We don't know the altercation and the conversation that was happening between him and Austin and potentially Hunter now. You heard it from the mom. That could be nothing, but it also could be something. Wisdom. He's actually doing what his son should have done. Wait for proper authorities. 100. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the thing too, right? I guess that's the other argument too. Some people will look at it and go, maybe he should have kept his hands to himself, talking about Austin, that maybe he should have just walked over to a coach or somebody there and saying, hey, this guy's here. Can you get him to leave? So on and so forth. Those things could have happened. And that was a choice that could have been made and it did not happen. So that's true too. Truth hurts. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I do appreciate it. SS, thank you so much for the love. Very hypocritical for saying that the father should leave. Can't have it both ways. I mean, here it is. I didn't say anything hypocritical. All I'm saying is he has a right to be there. But if they ask him politely to leave and he refuses to leave, and then they go to the owner of the actual building and then they call the police and say that he is trespassing, that's on them. Like I said, he had a right to be there, but at the same time, was it the right time to be there? I don't know. It does give off a different message. And I wish he would have come up and said, hey, I'm there because I'm here on solidarity. I'm trying to support. He could have said that, and he didn't. Allegedly. We didn't hear the conversation, just like in that situation with what's going on with Austin and Karmelo, right? We didn't hear the altercation. We didn't hear the conversation. But I'm wondering if Jeff Metcalf said to the police or to whoever asked him to leave, he could have just said, I want to stay. And I want to be here on solidarity. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Okay. But moving on. All right. Grateful. Devil's advocate. Maybe Austin's father was an absent father. Maybe this was his way of being there for his son. Law enforcement should be there, though. Yeah, I see that point, too. Good point. Very good point. Angie, way too many reverse racists here. You would not be the same if Karmelo was white, Pascal. Stop persecuting the dad of a dead boy. Wow. Well, I guess that's how you feel. I've already said my piece. I'm not advocating for anyone at all. I'm speaking and trying to be as level, as even as I possibly can. It's tough. This is not an easy one because, like I said, a lot of y'all have selective hearing. So I could say one thing and you guys just pick whatever you want to think and whatever you want, whatever words you want to have, you clump that together and go, oh, he's doing this. Shame on you, Pascal. I've already seen I've seen the messages. I've seen the chat. Y'all wildin'. Y'all wrong. Okay, those who are coming at me for talking logically. Like I said, common sense. Moving on. Rose, thank you so much. The dad proved how everyone values their designated space. Now the now the Anthony household knows where Austin was coming from by acting like Karmelo. I don't know. Yeah, this is a very interesting situation. Very interesting situation indeed. Grateful. Thank you so much again. If you want the case to stay out of the media, then you have to stay out of the media. Yeah, that's very true. Like, this is going to make headlines. Him showing up and not willing to leave, and then it's going to be a debate all over again, like it's already doing right now. People are going to talk about it, and there's going to be people on both sides of the political spectrum going off on this and talking about this till they're blue in the face, basically saying, like, some will be like, he has every right to be there, and how dare they kick him out. And then there's gonna be other people being like, why the hell was he in there in the first place? He needs to go. It's unfortunate, but another situation that stirs the political and racial pot once again, right? And it'll be 2 days of content about this BS. It's unfortunate. Rather than looking at the situation, which is talking about the loss of this kid and how this other kid is trying to say that this was self-defense. That's what we should be talking about, right? But moving on. But people will get enraged. Selective rage, okay? Lady E, thank you so much. I think Case and Allison's case should be discussed, much like this case, because the silence is so loud in addition to the double standards. I looked it up a little bit. I don't know much about it, but I am going to look into it and see what's going on. So thank you so much for the suggestion. Okay. Corey, yes, I heard about an active tragedy going on at FSU. That's Florida State University. I'll take a look at it when I get a second. I'm sure that's all calmed down by now, but I'll take a look at it when I get a second here. Hollis, thank you so much. There you go. The race card, shaking my head. Yeah, I mean, the race card is all over this. The race card is all over this. And it's been thrown into the deck, onto the table of this situation since day one. So I'm not surprised that race card is being pulled out here or until this whole thing is done. Race card is going to be played, unfortunately. Martin Luther. Austin was a typical... Moving on. Wanda Young, thank you so much. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, I think you're saying. It's heartbreaking that the other kids are afraid. Yes, absolutely. But I feel like it goes with it's par for the course, unfortunately. Again, the family... pretty much the whole family's on trial now too, which sucks. And I wish it wasn't that situation. I wish it would be a situation where they would be looking at Karmelo and what he has done alone and leave the family alone. But that's not the situation that we live in right now. Hollis, thank you so much. Karmelo doesn't qualify for self-defense in Texas. Well, We will find out about that in court, shall we? Rose, thank you so much. He should still walk. Legally, he's considered innocent, quote unquote innocent for now until proven guilty, since he claims self-defense and he claims to have justification anyways. Like I said, all of that will be proven, hopefully, in court. That is Karmelo's team's responsibility now. And the evidence as well. Where's the evidence? Is the evidence showing proof positive that this is indeed self-defense? That is going to be up to Karmelo's legal team. Once that all goes down, once evidence leaks, which I'm sure it will be leaking here very soon, we will see. And then we'll see what happens in court. A jury of his peers, hopefully picked out properly so that they come in with an unbiased verdict, right? So we'll see what happens. Hollis, thank you so much. Karmelo had a knife. Why would he feel like like his life is in danger? He had a weapon hidden on him. Like I said, the question is, what is deadly force? What was the deadly force that he was protecting himself from? Like I said, what is that? That is the question that needs to be answered. And that's the question that hopefully will be answered in court. That's what his legal team is there for, to say this was self-defense. How was it self-defense? If he was defending his life and he was defending himself, trying to get away from a deadly situation, what is considered a deadly situation? Is a push deadly? Is a touch on his shoulder, touching him on the chest like this, which apparently, allegedly, Austin did. He touched him on the chest, right? He touched him like, oh, touch you and I'm going to find out. Okay, buddy, boop, I'm touching you, right? Is that deadly force? Is it words? Is it verbiage that's coming out of Austin's mouth? Is it a racial slur? If there was a racial slur that was actually uttered out of Austin's mouth, is that deadly force? Those are all questions that are going to hopefully be answered in court. And we'll find out. We will definitely find out. Kristen, thank you so much. So what about people who pew a school because they've been bullied? That's interesting. That's a good question. You got to remember, though, when they go in and they pew up a school because they've been bullied, that's not them defending themselves. They're not in dire straits and trying to defend their life. They're going in and they're committing straight up M. Let's be real. Should they have got off too? Guess they would be innocent too. Absolute joke. No, you got it wrong. No offense, but that's not correct. Those people, they of course maybe are harassed and bullied in school. They leave, and then days later they go in and they open fire on people. So again, if it's unwarranted, that's one thing. But if it was a situation, and I wouldn't even say bringing an AR to a school and saying, oh, well, self-defense is ridiculous, right? That's ridiculous too. There's no merit for that, in my personal opinion, okay? There shouldn't be firearms or even weapons on school grounds in the first place, okay? But I get what you're saying. But in this situation, these types of tragedies that happen in schools, those are premeditated for sure, okay? That is not an act out of self-defense for sure. Grateful, thank you so much. Has Karmelo's parents, I guess, been present in Metcalf's talks? No, they haven't. But you also got to remember, Metcalf's interviews, all of the Metcalf family interviews have been private. They have been done in their homes or outside on their front lawn. They have not been press conferences for the world to see. This one was a very public situation. We are going to be here. We're going to make a public statement right here for the press and the public and the world to hear and see. Every other interview that the Metcalfs have done, and go check them out, they've all done them either via video chat, or they've done them in their home, sitting on a couch or sitting outside their home, out their front lawn, talking about this on their private property. So that's the only difference between this one and that one. Let's continue on. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hollis, again, sporting tents are for your specific team. Karmelo knew that. He was there to instigate. Facts. Like I said, I'm interested to see what happens. Again, The tent is for a specific team. You are absolutely right, but is on top of public ground. So again, it'll be interesting to see what they do, how they present that. What do they show? What are they going to say that he went into a private area that he shouldn't have been in? And also, we don't know the full scope of everything. Was he invited? Or did he just randomly walk over there? Remember, they say one witness said that Karmelo knew one of the kids that was under the tent. And so people are speculating that he walked over there to talk to that kid. And then Austin came over and all hell broke loose, right? And then tragedy ensued. But then that same kid that apparently they say knew Karmelo gave his own eyewitness account. And he says, I don't know this kid. I don't know him from a can of paint. Is he telling the truth? Or is he lying because he's scared? Because he doesn't want to be a part of this problem? That is something I think we're going to have to wait and see as well, right? We're going to have to wait. Still, there's a lot of information that we still don't know. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it aggravates the out of me too. But at the same time, we don't know everything yet. Again, guys, I know everybody wants to solve the case. Everyone wants to say it's, Austin did a bad thing or Karmelo did a bad thing. At the end of the day, we don't have everything. Okay. Karmelo most definitely did a bad thing. Okay. He admits it. We should all be on the same page on that. He did a very bad thing. This kid is gone because he decided to take a knife and plunge it into the chest of Austin. That's it. Now it's a matter of finding out whether or not this is actually self-defense or not. This is going to be very interesting. And whether or not a tent is considered a private domicile. Does the tent that it covers the area that it was covering, does it automatically mean that is a private area now? Is that considered private property underneath the tent? I'm sure they're going to get super technical on all that stuff here very, very soon. So let's just wait for it. Nee, thank you so much for the love. I think the mother mentioned rain as a reason why Karmelo refused to leave the shelter. See, now I can see that being a situation because that's why I was like, wait, did he just say blame it on the rain? Did he really do that? But maybe that was the situation. Maybe Karmelo was like, it's pouring rain. I'm not leaving this tent. I'm here right now. Let me just wait till the rain slows down and then I'll leave. But it's pouring right now. I ain't moving. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe not as well. We don't know yet. We're going to find out soon. Sabrina, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all that you do. Appreciate you. You are extremely appreciated. Oh, thank you. Trust me. Reporting things like this can be very tough, and very frustrating. Trust and believe. So I appreciate you being so kind. I appreciate that. Sabrina, thank you so much for the love. Judge, thank you so much. There's a song about this case. Heard it yet? No, I haven't heard it, but I heard that there is a song about this case, which I haven't heard yet. So I'll be looking for it soon enough, but very interesting. Let me just say that. Very interesting. Very interesting. But guys, this is a very wild case, okay? And there's a lot of situations that are going on, okay? Understandably, people are upset. I understand that. People have their opinions on this whole situation. What I think is so sad about this, is the fact that people it's constantly the race card getting thrown in. That's the sad part about this as well. Like, we need to be better. Let's just look at the right and wrong. Let's look at the law. Let's look at what actually happened here instead of just going, oh, well, he's black, so, he should, bury him under the prison. It wasn't self-defense. He's a straight up thug. Let's find out what happened. Let's get the facts first. Let's hear what's really going on. Something's up. I truly believe that something is up. I've said in the very beginning of the show, I'm going to say it again. There's pieces of information that haven't been said yet, have not been disclosed, that have been overlooked, that I think could give us more insight on what actually happened here. Whether or not it is more insight on self-defense or if this is cold-blooded M. Think about that for a second. Think about it. Put aside your racial bias, your political bias. Let's look at the information. Let's look at the facts. And let's see what actually is going on here. At the end of the day, this is right or wrong. This is life or death. And you got a kid saying that it's self-defense. Well, the jury, in my personal opinion, is still out on that, whether or not this was self-defense or not. Let's see the proof. Let's see the info before we jump on either side of the fence. It's reckless of us to do so, in my personal opinion. It's reckless of us to do so, to jump the gun and just lean on our own specific bias. So let's see what's going on. Rex, thank you so much. Thanks for doing what you do. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is a tough case. It's a very tough case. And there's a lot of people that expect these commentators and all that to be on one side or the other. And I say, let's find out what actually happened here. A kid should still be alive here. Karmelo Anthony most definitely took the life of this young man, Austin Metcalf. But the question still remains if this is self-defense or not. I don't condone taking the life of anybody. I don't. What happened here is sad and hurtful. And there are two families that are grieving now. But we should not be putting the Metcalf family on the chopping block, and we should not be putting the Anthony family on the chopping block either. Let it play out in court. Let Karmelo and his legal team do what they need to do, and let a jury make that decision on whether or not this young man is guilty of M or if this is self-defense. Now, I just put up that poll in over 1.5. That's crazy. 1.5K votes. I asked you guys, do you think Jeff Metcalf should stay? And 54% of y'all said he should stay. That's what's up. The people have spoken. Y'all have spoken. Okay. So this is interesting, guys. Very, 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 very interesting. But again, as this case continues to progress, we will talk more about this. Now, here's the thing. I do have a video. All right. I do have a link that I posted to the top of the chat. All right. It's up at the top of the chat. I just put out a video. It's talking about the self-defense. It's talking about the racial bias, etc. I did a whole reaction to this video that was done with Chris Cuomo and a couple lawyers. I think it's very insightful. I think it's very interesting. I highly recommend you guys going over and clicking on that. It's pinned to the top of the chat right now. Go check it out. Please consume it with your eyeballs. And of course, comment down below. Let the conversation be percolating in these conversations in the family chat. That'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. At the end of the day, guys, we must learn to respect each other regardless of the color of our skin. And I feel like situations like this, cases like this, take us all the way back to the 50s. It's sad, but it's true. We need to be better as a people. And this just shows how much work we still have got to do out here with each other. Okay? We need to be better. And I know we're better. So let's start working on each other too. It's time for a change. Anyway, guys, that's the show. Appreciate all y'all for being here. Means a lot. Thank you so much. Please do me a favor, though, before you head out. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do that for me. Okay, hold on. Nicole, that's what it kind of feels like, that he was there to intimidate, for sure. That's what it feels like, Nicole. Thank you so much. But hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button, please, and thank you. All right. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, make sure you crush that follow button. All right. Subscribe here. Subscribe. We're keeping an eye on this case. We are most definitely keeping an eye on this case. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. Please go over to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Make sure you're subscribed over there as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. Hit that join button down below. Check out that Patreon. Check out that Locals. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. All right. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Stay positive out there and keep your head up, y'all. Okay? And love one another. Real talk. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.